what you sound. Honest. Please cooperate and do your part in keeping this theater quiet so everyone, including you, can enjoy.
Sitting in the south stands.
So smooth.
I think. I don't know what you hear. We don't have the...
You mean you're not sure about the smooth part or the sad part?
Definitely sure about the sad part. I'm very sure about that. I'm not sure about the smooth part, but I assume it's both smooth and sad. Guys, welcome into the loserest losers lounge that ever lost. We are a bunch of losers.
I feel like a loser.
I feel like a complete loser.
I feel like an idiot.
Oh, just kidding. The Avs are winning.
Avs
We're all
are
winning,
having
baby. It's a winner's lounge.
The winners last. We're back.
Avs scored.
Yeah, it's funny. The contrast between the Avs and the Nuggets is really hilarious because it's just like Avs fans just so confident that they're going to win 7-0, and they will.
Well, they were not confident after a few games ago, but
people in this lounge
and I yelled at them.
Avs fans are very confident.
No, they told me they were too
Really?
superstitious. We couldn't drop the shirt. Everyone was too nervous and about it.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's going to take a lot for me to regain confidence in the Denver Nuggets after this one. And it's not because I don't think that they're good, not because I don't think they have a chance in this series or that's over, but things like this just seem to happen to them. I mean, I guess I should first welcome in. I'm Adam Matas. I'm joined by Brendan Vaught. We get a DlineCo. They're presented by DraftKings.
Oh, your balls will thank you.
Something like that.
DraftKings Sportsbook, where you can hop on and try to win some money to wash away the complete sorrows of being a loser. Eric, why don't you hop on now as we're talking?
I need my phone.
Wow, you really dropped the ball on your own.
You know what?
Get the F out of here. Get the F out of here. Go find your thing. No, but for real, this game to me is tough because I actually did come into this game with a decent amount of confidence, and that confidence was not very rewarded. It was not very rewarded. What a wreck we are, man. We are the version of the Nuggets ourselves.
Try now.
This is rough.
But I don't know. We all talked beforehand. We had this great vibe about us. Like, not that this means anything. I mean, but we had this great sort of feeling of like, you know what, this Nuggets team, they've just got so many pieces. I watched that opening where I felt like Utah had some tough shots that they made, and I'm like, you know what, this first quarter is going great. Denver's playing defense hard. They got confidence and swagger. Obliterated. I mean, this game was not nearly as close as the score says, and I'm not even sure it was as close as the widest margin during that run said. Yeah. This was a complete and total ass whooping.
Yeah, this was rough. You know what the good thing is, though, is that this is one game out of a series of at most 7.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's 1-1. I mean, thank God they got game 1 because it's 1-1. I mean,
listen, that's the point. Is that this was just so one-sided in a way where you're just like, the Jazz just could not miss a shot. They could not miss a 3. There were a lot of open threes, but there were a lot of threes that they just hit them. They just hit everyone.
So here's my question, and this is the big question, I think, for this series and really about the Nuggets, and I think really will determine just how good of a team this actually is. I mean, the playoffs reveal to you how good you are. And I want to ask you first, Vogt, did the Jazz hit a lot of threes, or do they... This is what the Jazz do. They make three-pointers, and they got a lot of very comfortable looks, and Denver just was collapsed. I mean, should we look at this and say, oh, they're not going to be that hot again?
I mean, both things happened, right? You can say that was an outlier shooting performance, but this is A, a team that does shoot well, B, a team that's willing to shoot, and C, all of those looks were in rhythm. I mean,
rhythm is the big part.
I mean, the Nuggets contested so few of those looks. And so it's not just, oh, this is an open 3. This is an open 3 after I just watched an open 3 fall on consecutive possessions. So it is concerning. I mean, that is hopefully, knock on wood, as well as the Jazz will shoot all series. But what are we talking about here? Maybe that outlier shooting is why this was almost a historic loss.
Right, yeah.
But Denver did not play well enough on defense to win this game.
No, I mean, this was an L for them regardless, like even without the hot shooting. But, it was an L, but, like the games or series are not generally sweeps in the NBA. Like, it's not that common for a team to lose 4 straight. So, It's a series. It's now officially a series. It's like 1-1. Like, okay, boys, let's go.
Now you got to go on the road. You got to go on a tough road crowd.
Got to go. Yeah, I
bring that energy in.
I really want to see how the Nuggets respond with a different logo superimposed on the floor.
Yeah, different noises coming out of the arena. What about the intensity in this game?
Of the Avs game?
Avs are going to score every 3 minutes. And it's just like, I mean, it's awesome. Like,
it's not 5-0. And
it's just so inverted to the Nuggets. It's 5-0. Yeah, and it's 5-0.
I can see myself in the face of the Coyotes. Rick Tocchet and I share a lot of kindred spirit right now.
What about the effort? Because I'm going to be honest, man, in the first quarter, and really there are moments throughout the game where I'm like, man, they're flying around. Yeah. They feel to have, like, this is what the Nuggets need to do to win this game. Did it wane? Was the urgency gone? Was that an issue in this game?
I mean, by the third quarter, I thought it waned a little. It seemed like both the players and the staff almost kind of waved the white flag.
You could tell who the hungrier dog was for sure.
But to your point, I mean, part of what's concerning is I actually liked the defensive effort in the first half.
Yeah, I agree.
But, I mean, look, they went with like a soft hedge, kind of 2 at Mitchell, 2 at the ball thing in the first half, which almost forced Utah to play healthier offense. 2 to the ball, we move the ball. And if you move the ball enough against this Denver defense, they will make a mistake.
Yeah. Do you think they overreacted? I mean, Donovan Mitchell had 57 points, a historic number. And
I think so. Our guy Seth Partnow framed it this way on Twitter. I think you'd rather make Mitchell be tremendous than make the rest of that offense be competent.
Right.
And you were
or maybe good. I would say they were good tonight. They knocked down those shots.
Oh, yeah, they were.
But they weren't historic. They just were knocked down open shots.
Yeah, this is going to be the Jordan Clarkson game. This was the Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of like. I would have rather seen Mitchell go for 50 again, honestly, than this.
So Donovan Mitchell still goes for 30 points. He has a plus 23 in this game over 33 minutes. He's 10 of 14. So even though he didn't go for 57, I mean, he only missed 4 shots today. Had 8 assists. I saw a stat from David Locke. 7 of those were to three-point shooters for 3-point shots. I do think there's something to Denver. Let's be honest, man. I think I might just say Denver sucks on defense. I mean, I really thought that they were going to turn up the intensity and, okay, you don't have Gary Harris. Maybe we can, mix and match some pieces. And I do think there's something to that. But let's be honest, guys. Jokic in the pick and roll against a lob threat, there's nothing you can do. You're going to have to pick your poison. And it might be, to Seth Partnow's point, it might be that you pick Donovan Mitchell being awesome, which he's going to be, and you just don't let them get going from three-pointers, because from the three-point line is where it snowballs, and a 6-point lead becomes a 16-point lead like in a blink of an eye.
Right, yeah. It got away. I mean, when it got away quick.
Very quick.
And I think Denver only took 27 to Utah's 44 three-pointers tonight. So it also becomes a math problem at a certain point there as well.
Yeah, so there's another side of the ball here that I want to talk about, or the other side of the court. I don't know what you say in basketball. Another end of the floor that we could talk about, and that was that I thought Denver's game plan today offensively was a little too Jokic versus Gobert centric.
Yeah,
not too Jokic centric. They posted him up a ton today.
Yeah, he was. I mean, early on, and it looked promising. But
Jokic
you're right.
was 10 of 21. He was good.
Yeah, he wasn't that great today.
No. He was good as a post scorer. I just don't think you can win saying like, let's keep posting up Gobert. Let's just keep posting up.
There's really something to the idea of just getting other people involved so that you can count on them. I mean, the Nuggets really, unlike the Utah Jazz, don't have that supernova. So it's like really imperative that you get all of the team engaged. And you're right, like Jokic was just sort of backing down Gobert. He missed a bunch of those bunnies early on, which is really strange. But, at the end of the day, like that wouldn't have mattered anyway had he made a lot of those shots. Like Jokic would have had like 35, 36 points.
So he had, exactly. So he had 47% shooting today, 10 of 21. Let's say he goes 15 of 21. Gets 10 more points, because these are mostly those bunnies you're talking about, those inside ones, maybe 12 more points. This game's not close. I mean, it's like the game was so far away from them that
everybody else looks so clunky. They just weren't in the flow because there was no flow to be in.
And it's weird to me because Gobert in the playoffs and just when teams have been able to be good against him have drawn him out of the paint. And it felt like Denver was trying to hammer him inside, which again, I thought Jokic did better than almost any center would have done in this specific strategy. It just was... I don't know that you can win that way, and we didn't see anything else going. We didn't see the dribble handoff game. We didn't see a lot of Jamal Murray today. I mean, we can move on to him. We were all prepared to talk about Jamal Murray making the leap. This is him. Like, even me, who have been a big skeptic, I'm like, you know what? he's had 4 consistent games in a row in the bubble or whatever. I'm like, I'm in. As soon as I go in, the guy goes out there, gives him 6 of 13, 14 points.
He was not engaged in this game at all.
Yeah,
like, he just it wasn't even that he was shooting inconsistently or his shot wasn't falling. He just was like a non-factor. He just like wasn't.
He was just one of the guys out there.
Yeah, it was weird. Like he just seemed groggy. Like I don't know if maybe a late night in the players' lounge at the Grand Destino. Maybe he.
I highly doubt that.
Maybe you think he maybe went over to the Grand Floridian or.
Oh no! I just
or maybe this is just the Jamal Murray that we've known.
No, I did. I'm not backing off my take on this. Like, because this wasn't a bad game by him. It was just like he wasn't like just shooting and bricking and shooting. Like in the season, he would just like not be able to shoot. He would not hit any transition threes.
Right.
And he still shot like 45%.
Yeah, he still had it. Yeah.
He just wasn't. He lost that killer instinct. I don't know. So
you feel Donovan Mitchell like every play. You're just kind of like, God, this guy is just in control. And with Murray tonight, at least, it felt like he wasn't hitting enough of those tough shots for you to really feel him. You're just like, okay, every now and then he's going to hit a tough shot, and then he'll just go back and not be there. So, I want to rewatch the tape on him. I really want to rewatch the tape too and just see more about what Denver's strategy appeared to be, both defensively, maybe overcommitting to Mitchell, and offensively overcommitting to ISO Jokic tonight, which it just felt like. But those are some of my big takeaways from this one.
It just feels like we just talked about Donovan Mitchell forcing Denver, maybe an over-adjustment, an overreaction, but forcing Denver to react, change what they were doing in D from game 1 to game 2, then from the first half to the second half, even within this game. You don't see Jamal Murray forcing defenses to react. I think they say you come down, you hit that tough shot again, fine, but he's not doing anything that's making life easier for Jokic or the other guys. And I know game 1 just happened. I saw it, and it was awesome. But like, we're having this conversation about Mitchell. You talk about Dame that way. You talk about the elite guards that way. How does Murray bend your defense in half? Tonight he just looked reluctant to try anything, and the whole offense suffered.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. He was just like, just if I didn't know anything, I just would think that he didn't, like, he was distracted or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he just wasn't.
Just wasn't the killer.
Yeah, he was just like kind of passing off and.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. It's like he wasn't, again, like not playing badly, just not playing like we need him to.
Another guy I want to talk about, I'm sure we're going to revisit a lot of this, Harrison Wind right now, talking to Michael Malone, the players, as we speak. He'll be joining us in just a moment. But I want to talk about Torrey Craig, too, because only 27 and a half minutes tonight. He has what did Torrey Craig have? Oh, he had 0 points. Yeah, he didn't have. He was 0 of 2. He took 1 3, had 1 shot inside. But the offensive part I don't care about. Like, Torrey Craig's going to wax and wane on the offensive end. I really counted on him to really slow down Donovan Mitchell, and I thought early in this game he did just that. I thought Donovan Mitchell struggled early on, in large part because Torrey Craig does a good job. There was a play, and I think it was in that third quarter, where he got caught on a screen, and Jokic was livid at him. And from that moment on, I mean, the wheels came off, but part of it was Torrey Craig has to be a star in his role, and that means, hey, Donovan Mitchell is the MVP of the series by leaps and bounds, and you have to make him not that. You have to make him less than that. Yeah. 2 games in right now, that has not happened. 1 because of foul trouble, and then tonight just because it just went away. Before the wheels came off, Torrey Craig started to lose touch of Donovan.
Oh, it's so true. I mean, Torrey Craig. Yeah, it's funny. Torrey Craig was a big factor in the first game because he went out, and but he also hit those 3 out of 5 3-pointers.
Yeah.
He was a factor in this game in that he was just like a lot of other players, just a ghost. Just he was there, because you see it on the score sheet, but.
Yeah. How does this change your perspective now? I mean, we were so confident coming into this one. We felt great about the Nuggets.
This is a playoff series,
I had Nuggets by double digits tonight. That was my
double
prediction.
digits. Wow.
Do you guys remember last year? Do you remember the Spurs?
I love it. I wanted to go here. I have it on my notes.
Yeah, last year was this.
It really last was. Year,
after,
it was worse.
It was just around, straight roller coaster. Like every game that I met you guys out at the View House, and we watched it outside, which is. I mean, if we're talking about venues to watch, whatever, I won't.
It was so dumb. Yeah, it was like they were like, "Can you guys move over? We're playing cornhole over here." I think we're having.
Yeah, like nobody was really into it, and they lost every game. It was
the opposite of the DNVR.
Yeah, it was like this. It was like it sucked. Like there was nothing, and it was like another one of these games where you just question, like am I stupid? Like, am I
this
lying
game
to myself?
totally makes you feel stupid. Like I feel bamboozled.
I do. I feel, and it is another game where you're like, what you were saying earlier, like, why do I care more about the Denver Nuggets than the Denver Nuggets care about the Denver Nuggets?
Felt like that one tonight.
But
for
so
sure.
it's, F it, man. It's the playoffs. Like, that's why these are two really good teams,
Yeah.
and they're two evenly matched teams in a lot of ways. And so far, Utah has had the bigger punches thrown.
It's weird because I feel like Utah has fewer things they can do, but Denver can't stop the thing they're best at, and that's what I think is most concerning. But I do remember last year in the playoffs, guys, through 3 games against San Antonio, Denver looked more like the team they looked in this game than the team that won. Remember, Jamal Murray went nuclear. Denver had this great run. I think they were down like 15 points or something in the third quarter of game 2, about to go down 0-2.
Very true.
And it was just like, man, they've looked good for, I don't know, a couple minutes out of this series following the first 3 games. Then they came to life. They gained some experience and this and that. So for me, I kind of feel like we're more in that territory, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't feel good when you lose that bad, that resoundingly to a team.
Hey, Harrison, you want to come over and be miserable with the rest of us?
The Peloton Prince. Pull the mic in, let us
How
know.
is Michael Malone today? In a great mood, I'm sure.
All right,
Jamal Murray repping Kentucky in the post-game interview. It's like,
we're trying to get that old feeling back. So first off, Harrison, who spoke?
so we had Michael Malone, obviously, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. talk today.
Wow, that's everybody I want to hear from.
big
That's
three.
the big 3. But
The
you know
big
what?
3, baby.
Before I hear what you have to say, why don't we hit one break, and then I want to get all of
Dueling
these notes.
breaks?
Yeah. Well, we can just do the one break. Vogt has them up and ready.
Okay, good.
Yeah, stall for me for 10 seconds.
Geez. Harrison, we said, has your confidence? That was the last question. Has your confidence overall in the series been shaken by this ass whooping?
No, because I picked this series to go 6 games. I thought this would be
Yeah.
I didn't think this would be like a 7-game knockdown, drag out San Antonio Spurs, Portland Trailblazers type series, but I thought Utah would push Denver. And based on how the seeding games went, and I'm sure you guys have hit on this, but how hot Utah was from 3, how many threes they shot, and how bad the Nuggets 3-point defense was, I was honestly expecting a game like this to happen.
Yeah.
So I was accounting for something like this.
All right, we ready to go here?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Breckenridge Brewery. That's what we do here at the DNVR Sports Bar on
Can't
Colfax.
even drink right now. I'm
Denver
too
Sports
depressed.
and Breck Brew.
I'm too miserable to
What's the
drink.
most depressing?
That's when I usually drink.
What was that question? Were you going for
I was going to
something?
say, what beer do you drink when you're depressed? What's the ultimate Breck brew?
vodka.
Yeah. I just look
It's
for
like a dark ass.
I just look to see
Pitch
if I can
black
find old discarded beers in the gutter.
I might drink.
I just
I might drink a
those.
vanilla porter junior because that was one of the silver linings, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, one beer that's always worth checking out, win or lose. It's the Avalanche Amber Ale. That's the classic.
That's a
Breck
winner's
brew.
beer at the
We did,
moment.
and we did get avalanched.
Yeah, the Avs are on fire, so you can drink to that. So if you're not sure where to find it, you can get it here at the DNVR bar, of course. You can order it from Breck, or just punch it into the Breck Beer Locator on Google. You'll find the nearest store, what they're carrying, how much it is, all that good jazz. So check out the Avalanche
No
Amber
such
Ale
thing as
from
good
Breck
jazz.
Brew. Also have to talk about MSU Denver Online, putting a dynamic education at your fingertips without forcing you to decide between earning a degree and living your life. Look, everything right now is about getting it done from home. What a luxury to be able to get your education from your couch. And I think often those of us, when we hear
6-0.
about
The
Avs scored.
Avs are just rubbing it in the Nuggets'
They
faces
really are.
right
I
now.
love the Avs. This is like it's tough because I want to be like, yeah, but I just feel
They've
so
got to
down.
lift the city of Denver up
6-0.
right now.
Lift them up, Avs. Lift up the city. Lift us up.
We'll wrap this up. Often when I see online education, it looks to me like, half as much as what you could get if you were to go to the traditional route. That's really not the case with MSU Denver Online. It's not a point A to point B experience. Your teachers are committed and responsive. So check out MSU Denver Online.
The Avs outscored Torrey Craig by 6.
We should do a list of all the Nuggets that got outscored.
Torrey Craig pulled a full Wilson Chandler. Game
Oh,
82
man.
in this
Oh,
one.
boy.
Really
Paul
good.
Millsap got
boy.
outscored by the Avs so far.
Wow, Dad, the Avs. Avs winning.
Yeah,
Troy
Daniels almost outscored the Avs, not quite. Jeremy Grant has outscored the Avs, but there's still two periods. Right?
Yeah.
There's still a lot of time for the Avs left.
Wait, no, we're in the third, right?
We're in the second.
This
We're
is
in
the second period?
The Avs are just
Avs are like the 2015 Warriors.
Can
right
we just
now.
talk about the Avs?
Good night, guys. This is now an Avs podcast.
I want this for the Nuggets so bad. This is like a just stunting on them. Like Bol plays the whole fourth because you're murdering them.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like the Jazz punched the Nuggets in the mouth, and the Nuggets were just like, all right. And they just like took it.
They threw in the towel. They threw in the towel
So
midway
whacked,
through the third.
The
some
wackest.
shots are going in.
Yeah.
All right, let's pack up and go home.
The
That's what happened.
wackest.
No, we're done.
Now we're done with it. All right, Harrison. So tell me what Michael Malone. So with these leads, let me have a theory before you get there.
Okay. I love
these games, you lose at the buzzer, you blow it in the fourth, whatever. That's tough. When you sit on the sideline for an hour, just watching like where the end result is not in doubt, it almost gives you a chance to decompress and feel a bunch of other emotions.
Because halftime was probably when he went off, not post game.
Halftime, they were still in it, kinda.
Yeah. So I'm with you with that argument, and I think that's why Malone was pretty measured in his post game comments, along with Murray, Jokic, and
you gotta act like you've been here, baby.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's game two. It's game two. The series is 1-1.
Right.
Denver came out, won game one. Utah made some adjustments. Now it's Denver's turn to make some adjustments.
Exactly what it is.
That's what Jamal Murray said. It's our turn to make some adjustments now. So nobody's freaking out here. Yes, Utah played really well. Donovan Mitchell surgically dissected Denver's defense, I thought. I was just as impressed with him today as I might have been when he scored 57. But I'm not really sensing any panic from the Nuggets. Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff to clean up, and I think the three-point defense is concerning just because it's not just a one-game trend.
See, that's the thing.
You know?
That's the thing.
We've seen this like time and time again.
See, I want to buy in, but I don't know that Denver has the horses to do it. I mean, let's be honest. Jokic is struggling in the pick-and-roll defense. Like, his biggest haters say that he would in a series like this right now. And
screw you, biggest haters.
Well, I mean, at the moment, they get to take a little bit of a victory.
No, I know.
We
Screw
wanted
them.
a victory lap today. We wanted to do one.
You know what, though? I'm not backing down. I'm not like the Nuggets. I'm not going to take this punch from the haters and just let them roll. This is game two. Game three was coming. Let's take this in.
Oh,
let's feel.
He's already turned around. I love it.
Let's feel like
He was
garbage
so sad
together.
earlier. You guys should have seen him over here.
Well, it was bad. Let's feel bad together, but let's flush this out of our system.
We're almost out. We're almost out.
Yeah.
Like, keep hearing.
I mean, there's takeaways from this game if we were to try and play this game again, but next game will not be this game.
Right. It's definitely true.
What's most concerning for
Literally.
me, and kind of like we were just saying, like the defensive issue that they had today. These are the defensive issues they've had all year.
Yeah. See, that's
the
thing.
defensive issues that they had in the seeding games. Lack of communication, not identifying the right personnel, no KYP. And you can talk about cleaning that stuff up and saying, that stuff's really easy to blame for the open three-point shooting that Utah had. But when it's just the same issue time and time again, it's tough to have a ton of confidence that those issues will suddenly get corrected now that we're in the playoffs. It's not just an effort thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's not.
And effort mitigates that, and I often think Denver's effort on D is informed or fueled by how well are they playing on the other end, and they did not get the ball popping at all in either of these games. And I think when you stand and watch a guy ISO or watch a guy post up, there's no juice to that, and half those shots miss, and then you got to get back on transition D. It's just deflating and compounding.
I think another thing I would say here is Jokic in particular, but I thought the team as a whole, not very poised. I mean, here's the thing. Rudy Gobert was flopping. I mean, he was his most annoying self tonight, falling over, talking to the ref.
That first series where he just fell down and then
he was trying to work Zach Zarb, and it worked. I mean, he got a lot of favorable calls.
What do we
in this
decide
game.
we're going to call him now?
We wanted
the
to stifle flower, but we didn't get to bust it
the
out.
stifle
Hopefully
flower.
we can
I'm
bust
busting it out.
another
Call him
time.
the stifle flower from this point on.
But, Gobert, I thought, was doing all of the things that are designed to make a player frustrated. And I thought Jokic, I got to give him credit, he did not get a technical. He towed the line. There was a couple times I thought he was going to get one. But I do think that it affected his game. When we talk about these bunnies, I think Jokic was a little ramped up tonight in a way that was unhealthy, not in a way that was productive.
Yeah.
It seemed like at one point, he was getting the shots he wanted, but he was pressing a little around the hoop.
He was it is weird to see Nikola Jokic play and feel like he is pressing. That is not part of his game.
It's
ever.
so funny because I remember it only a few times, and early in his career, remember Karl Anthony Towns, the first year had some great games against them. And then I remember the second year going back, it was oh man, he's trying to go right at him. And
right.
and it's like having the inverse effect. There was a little bit of that tonight, but I just thought he was frustrated. I mean, he yelled at Torrey Craig at one point in this game. What was his post game press conference like?
Not much, to be honest. Just kind of echoing Malone's comments. And, he did say some things about we need to continue to make plays for each other, kind of getting to the point that the offense hasn't been beautiful. It hasn't been like super clean. It's been rough. So I don't think he's thrilled with where they're at offensively, nor should he be.
Yeah. So let's get into some silver linings here. Number one, well, it's not number one, but it's number one on my list. Jeremy Grant had 3 rebounds. It's up from 0 the time before.
I remember one of them, that one in the corner.
And it wasn't even a rebound, like rolled to him at the 3-point line. No, but for real, Michael Porter Jr. tonight, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 10 of 17 shooting, and that's 6 of 9 from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Michael Porter, man, I've said this all along, and this is why this year is so interesting for him, is the team isn't designed to exploit Michael Porter Jr. They're not designed. He doesn't seem to know when he's going to shoot or this or that. His best games have come, and his best moments have come when there's nothing to lose. It's like, hey, we just need you to be an aggressive, like the guy you were in high school, just go out there and just shoot it, and there's no such thing as a bad shot because we're down 35. And tonight, 6 of 9 from the 3-point line, and it just felt like, I mean, he had an incredible second half, and especially like down the stretch, but it didn't matter, of course. But at least it's one of those things that you look at and go, okay, does that get him going? Does that get him a little bit more, to me, that's actually a pretty important silver lining because his points are valuable.
I mean, it was the full experience, though, tonight, wasn't it? Like 28 points on 10 of 17, 6 of 9 from 3. But, I mean, at times the defense was just like, it was really, really hard to watch. So,
but it was that way in last game. He just didn't score any points.
I agree.
So it's like,
look, he comes out his first game in the playoffs as a rookie, not great. Comes out the second game, actually shoots the ball really damn well. Yeah. So maybe he starts putting more things together. He's a confidence player, a rhythm player. Definitely important for him to see these go down. He was also a -7 in 33 minutes, and -7 is not that bad. That was not fourth quarter making it up. He was that way throughout this whole, like going into the fourth quarter, it was looking like that. So you look at the other starters, -23, -16, -20, -13. When he was on the court, Denver was doing okay, and I do think there's something too. He's so tall. His shot is so good, and the more he gets confident and the more it's like, hey, we just need you to go out there and create buckets, the more I feel like he can deliver on that promise.
Yeah, he got in like a little mini FU mode, which is pretty cool.
FU mode's a good way.
He's
a competitor.
He is a competitor. He like in the first game he was tentative, and it's good, even though it came into what amounted to extremely long garbage time. He still got into FU mode, and you love to see it.
Yeah.
So what I sense with Porter today, and he kind of said this a little in his post game, which I can talk about, but it feels like the Jokic, Murray, Porter trio, like getting all 3 of those guys going at the same time is still obviously a work in progress.
Yeah, it's tough
because
to do, man.
You've got the Jokic, Murray 2-man game, you get that going, and then Porter kind of feels like he gets going separately right now. Those 3 still aren't really meshing.
That's a great point, yeah.
Meshing together. And, that's going to be a big step for this team, getting all 3 of those guys kind of operating in sync, because when we've seen Porter's best stretches, it's like been a quick 12 points from him, and then he had like 10 the fourth in garbage time. But it's like, okay, Jokic, Murray do stuff in the first half or first quarter, then a quick 12-point spurt from MPJ. And you just don't have a lot of him scoring and then Jokic scoring and then MPJ.
That's the thing, like,
and then Murray. It's just not like so cohesive.
That's the thing, like for this Nuggets squad to reach their full potential, they really need to have that, give that other team a feeling of hopelessness. Like, just come on and just
100%.
Overwhelm them, and then make them do what the Nuggets did, which is just recede and be like, all right, we'll just pack it in for next game.
Yeah, and you could see tonight a little bit where MPJ kind of gets frozen out a little. When I feel like the Murray...
I want to make something clear. I don't think he gets frozen out. The offense doesn't incorporate him.
Right.
But I don't think it's like we're not going to this guy.
No,
he'll shoot it.
And what I'm getting at is post-game...
Because people say that. People have been saying that to me, and I'm like, come on, guys. Like, it's hard integrating a new piece.
And post-game, what he said was, when I'm on the floor with Jamal and Yoke, I got to hunt for my shot more. I got to be more aggressive going to the ball. So he senses that a little bit as well.
Yeah, and filling in the blank, like the cracks, right? Cut to the rim off ball. 0 offensive boards tonight. I think just 1 in game 1. So there are ways that he can get involved without necessarily having his number called.
Yeah.
And so more of that would be nice. But I thought to that point it was encouraging to see him a couple times. I think in that second quarter, just put his head down and get to the line and get to the rim and drive hard and see himself get going.
Yeah. Royce O'Neal, by the way, fantastic. I mean, one of the storylines I heard coming out of Utah, and I think after watching this game, I think it's true. They have a better perspective of their team. We have a better perspective of ours. One of the things I heard was, of course, Royce O'Neal has 5 fouls. They take him off of Jamal Murray down the stretch, and Jamal Murray's cooking Joe Ingles. And they're like, well, why would you do that? Royce O'Neal can guard him. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, well, we'll see. Well, we saw he can guard him. He really just shut him down. And I think if you're Jamal Murray, solving that a little Derek White-esque, figuring him out, and then once you figure it out, you gotta press down on it, because if Jamal Murray can be mitigated by the other team's Torrey Craig, their version of Torrey Craig, then that's going to be a huge L for Denver. I don't know that they're going to be able to make up those points. So to me, that's a battleground that I would say last game was sort of on my back burner, like I was paying attention to. This game moves right to the top of the list of like, okay, Craig versus Mitchell, O'Neal versus Murray. Right now, I think you have to score that fight heavily in favor of Utah at the moment.
Totally.
What do you got?
I just won my bet. So I bet the
from DraftKings Sportsbook.
I just bet the Celtics
America's
to get to 10,
top-rated sportsbook
to 10 before the 76ers in quarter number 2. So if you want to talk about silver linings, let's talk about gold linings. Let's talk about my pockets.
Can I tell you something? This bit that we've created, you need to start announcing your bets before so that we have.
I was.
It doesn't matter. Figure out your bet, then let us know. I know.
He doesn't want the viewers to screw with his odds.
Yeah, I don't. What do I want you and the viewers to screw with my odds?
So true. Jeremy Grant tonight, by the way, I'm looking at this here, minus 21, not in that heavy of minutes. I mean, it looks, I don't really have notes on him so much, other than the numbers look like he was, they were in real negative when he was on the court tonight. So something to kind of keep an eye on. Let's take another break, and then, guys, let's try to look ahead. Let's start talking about what's going to happen, because one thing about this bubble, the games are coming every 48 hours. We will be back in this bar in 2 days, and we have a chance to wash this bad taste out of our mouth. But Harrison, first of all, take us away. Is it DraftKings?
We got DraftKings in 1 second. First, though, Strava Craft Coffee. I had one today,
Oh.
right here. At
Thank
the
God I
DNVR.
Talk
did.
about
I would've
another
had a
silver
heart attack
lining.
if I would have had Strava today before this nightmare.
No, the CBD kicks in just in time before your heart.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
maybe
kicks in right before the show starts.
played that horribly.
Yeah, but you can get the DNVR bar, the cold brew. You can get it for 20% off with the code DNVR20. They also have a subscription service. Is that correct, Vogt?
Yes, of course.
Yes, they have the subscription
You can
service.
set how
Who doesn't
frequently-
have a subscription service these days?
Not us. We have one.
You can get Strava Craft Coffee for 20% off with the code DNVR20 online at StravaCraftCoffee.com. Now it's time for DraftKings. Of course,
Boy, is it.
they've got that awesome promotion that they're doing for the NBA playoffs. For every day,
Talk into your mic, Ellie says.
for every day that you bet at least $20 on
There
basketball,
you go. Look at that.
DraftKings Sportsbook will give you a $10 free bet. So put $20 on a bet, and then get
Eric
a
has
$10
like
free bet to
$1,000
throw around.
He's made
No, I
a
know.
lot of bets.
I have made a lot of bets. But they're not. None of them are big. I don't make big bets. And overall, I'm well up.
Yeah.
Overall,
So our DraftKings today, we do have to do a DraftKings King of the Game.
We do.
I think if you give it to a Nugget,
we can't give it.
we can't give it to Nugget. You have to give it to Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he's the king of the series. Okay, because we already made a graphic.
10
That's
of
why.
14
10 of 14, 30 points, 8 assists. I mean, look. The nice thing is, I do think that Denver, you got to solve him. And if you can't, you tip your hat and you change your team, because you've got to find guys that can stop Donovan Mitchell. He's a great player.
Donovan
Mitchell is a great player, but he's a top 20 player. He might be a top 15 player. He's not. If you can't stop him, he's not Kawhi Leonard. He's not LeBron James. He's not some of these guys. So I think he's a fantastic player, absolutely capable of winning a playoff series. You just don't want to be one of the teams that can't beat Donovan Mitchell. And right now, he is absolutely dominating this.
And when you put it like that,
Dude,
you're
he is
goddamn right.
playing
it's
like
true though, right?
No, for sure, yeah.
he is playing like a top 10 player in the league right now, though. Like,
For sure.
he is in a zone right now, shooting
sure.
the ball. I mean, he was not a great 3-point shooter this regular season.
Malone talks about this all the time, and I think he's 100% right. The Nuggets have handed him, I don't want to call them, they're kind of soft. Let's be honest. Will Barton there was a big blow up. Remember, this is one of the storylines this year. What game was it where Will Barton went into the locker room and said, you guys realize everybody in the league thinks we're a bunch of punks. They think we're talented, but they just think we're a bunch of punks. And you guys okay with that?
It was after the Clippers loss.
After the Clippers lost. I mean, the Clippers clowned the Nuggets, right? Clowned them on national television. And basically did everything other than, like, laugh at Dame like they did Damian Lillard in the bubble. And Will Barton had that speech. And Michael Malone has
That's
actually
right,
brought
Hubert.
this up a lot. Most recently this year when Terrence Davis lit the Nuggets on fire, and he said, there's some people around this organization that don't value toughness. I mean, I felt like it was one of his weirdest comments he had all year. But he's right. I really do think one of the reasons people always ask, why does everybody shoot so well against us?
They're comfortable.
I think they're just so comfortable out there. Why is Donovan Mitchell not a great pick and roll 3-point shooter or this or that, but all of a sudden he's in fuego? He's comfortable. He knows that the Nuggets are going to try to out-finesse them, outscore them, outdo this. Doesn't know that they have a guy that's going to, and I'm not saying be dirty, just somebody that's going to get in his ear and try to make him on tilt. And that doesn't always have to be physical. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes it's mental. Sometimes it's saying, F you, this guy's not scoring on me. I don't care what I have to do. Nuggets just don't have those guys.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell has the look in his eye right now that I feel like LeBron always gets against the Nuggets, where he just knows
Or
what
the
the
Raptors.
defense is going to do.
Yeah.
2-3 rotations before that the defense does.
Yeah,
He
for
just
sure.
has that look right now. I do want to talk about Will Barton in a second, but make sure to download the top-rated DraftKings
we're still on a
Sportsbook app
read.
now and use code DNVR when you sign up. For a limited time,
idea.
all users can get a $10 free bet when placing a bet of $20 or more on all first-round playoff action. Again, that's promo code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Other terms and conditions and restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
So looking ahead now, guys, Gary Harris to me, we can talk about Will Barton real quick, I guess, before we get to Gary Harris. Will Barton's out of the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he take the Nuggets mojo with him?
Oh, God, he might. Well, want to know something? We just talked about Will Barton being that sort of spiritual core to the team. He's in Jokic's ear, giving him confidence nonstop because he truly believes in him. He's been in Michael Porter Jr.'s ear. He is the guy that got them together after that Clippers loss and yelled at him and called him a bunch of punks, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, man.
Oh, sorry.
Do they have the guy right now that is going to blow people up? Do they have the guy right now that's going to
That's Vlatko.
light the locker room up and tell them to get their shit together? I don't know. Will Barton was that guy. I don't know if anybody else is. Is Jamal going to do that? I don't know. But that was the first thought when the news came down that Will Barton was leaving the bubble. Yes, you're not going to get his on-court abilities this playoffs, or that's what it's looking like most likely. But you're going to miss his voice maybe even more, I think.
Right.
I mean, I don't think we're going to find this out, but leaving the bubble at this moment just seems so bizarre.
I mean, I understand it.
Do you want to know why he left the bubble?
Please.
Well, his knee's been bothering him, obviously, the whole time he's been down there.
Clearly.
It was bothering him during the season. He was frustrated that, whatever rehab he was doing in the bubble wasn't working. And he wants to get healthy, obviously, for next season.
Yeah, not for this one.
Short
It doesn't
turnaround.
seem.
And a short turnaround, too.
Yeah.
Noting.
And he, point blank, he just wants to get healthy. He's frustrated that the rehab hasn't worked, so he's going to get the treatment that he needs. But yeah, I don't think it's likely that he comes back.
I would just love some more details beyond knee soreness. I mean, we're talking about rehab. It's
Not going to get it.
I know, but
it is ridiculous. That's unfortunate. I think mentally we're kind of already there with the guys that haven't been playing. But it does bring me to this one point. If Gary Harris doesn't play in Game 3, or if we don't get an update on him being close, then I just completely am going to give up hope. So I'm 2 days away, I would say, from giving up hope completely, because you know what? It is so clear to me that the Nuggets need Gary Harris.
Yes.
They need anybody that can defend.
Yes, they
And
do.
They just don't have those guys right now. Gary Harris we know can. And if you have Torrey Craig and Gary Harris out of the lineup, the offense is going to get clunky. It's going to get ugly. But at least you can stop what they try to do.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Gary Harris did not leave makes me feel like we're going to see him.
That is, I mean, I guess you can say that is a good development,
It's
that
true.
he's still there.
And, I don't know if you guys have been listening, but I've been listening to various podcasts that have players on. And
I don't listen to any other podcast. Like this podcast.
that's smart. You shouldn't even listen to this podcast, frankly. But the more than one player has described jokingly, but kind of not jokingly, this experience like being in jail.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
it's-
Will Barton said that.
Yeah, Will Barton said
definitely
that. I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard it a lot too.
I
yeah.
heard also Andre Iguodala say it. Like,
Yeah.
and they're all like, they're not saying it, but they kind of are. But I can imagine like if you're not going to play, you'd be like, dude, this is kind of miserable. I don't even have that fun moment to go play basketball.
Right.
Like you can only. I mean, the grand casino is only.
It is a little
so
weird
lit.
though that like all they have to do there is play basketball, and they're comparing it to jail, which just makes you think about like what are they doing outside of basketball during a normal playoff?
These
know.
these oh yeah, I know. For
I
real. You know what's funny is like these guys would hate my life.
Yeah.
I want these guys to have to be like sentenced to my life.
I know, I do.
Like, this
I do-
sucks.
I do
He
feel-
works.
I
He
do.
does, like,
I do
mows his
feel.
lawn.
I do feel oddly imprisoned by my own life.
It's so true. It's like 8 times a day. I'm just like, this next hour is gonna suck.
Do you consider a change with Craig? Like, could you go to PJ Dozier in the starting lineup?
I think Torrey Craig has a role in this one. He just
Yeah.
has to step up and play it. I mean,
Yeah.
guys, part of this is guys have to play the role that they have on this team. And if Torrey Craig is not the, hey, I'm going to shut down Donovan Mitchell, then I don't know what his role is. So if you're at that moment, then it's over. You know,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
time to move on or whatever. It's man. I want to go back to your point though. Just even though we're kind of backtracking here about the jail and everything, because there was a real. Oh God, you guys are not going to love this reference. It's The Graduate, right?
Love that movie.
With is Dustin Hoffman, right? And do you
Sure.
remember the end of
Yeah.
it when they're
Yeah, yeah,
married
yeah.
and they're in the back, and then like their smile slowly fades? You know this famous moment, right? No,
Nope.
no. You guys, yeah, it's famous. It's a famous one.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
definitely
I
does.
have
He's
seen The
scattered it up.
Graduate. I'm not completely in the dark on this one.
So it reminded me of
Yeah.
Jamal Murray because I was
Graduate.
watching him because TNT or whoever it was kept on him as he walked down the hall, and he was all in the interview. He's all pumped, and then you could see him going with all the people with masks. They're like, "All right, you need to go into this room, and now you need to like wear the and everything." You could just kind of see it be like, "Oh yeah, back to jail, like back to like."
Yeah, like on court is their only reprieve.
Like exactly like that was the great time. So I do think there's something there.
How you were talking about Gary Harris though, and that they just need more defenders.
Great
I
reference, I
kind
thought.
of sense this with Monte Morris, and I'm kind of championing him to play more minutes here. When Monte Morris is on the floor, I don't know about you guys, I just feel like the offense runs smoother, and
Yep.
defensively, rotations are a little crisper. There's not as many screw-ups personnel-wise. I feel like Monte's a guy that the Nuggets obviously trust just to know his assignment, to know the game plan defensively. So that's why it wasn't surprising when he was on the floor late and in overtime in game 1. But I'm wondering if he gets more minutes just because he's not going to make a lot of mistakes,
Yeah.
and that's kind of a similar thing you get with Gary.
I'm really curious to see what the adjustments are. Mike Conley inside the bubble. We have a feeling he's going to play for Game 3.
Yep.
Maybe push it. You think he will?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Listen,
It gets tougher.
The Utah Jazz have been less effective with Mike Conley than without.
I love these silver
It's
linings.
true. It's true. I mean, they have.
I mean,
like,
he's been great in the bubble, dude.
Well,
He's-
Malone
he's
did laugh,
scoring like
right?
18 a game.
He did laugh after this last game when he was like, "You guys, I said if Conley's out, that means more Donovan Mitchell." And so there is a little something there. Like Conley can't be better than Donovan Mitchell was
But,
tonight.
I mean, as we saw today, Donovan Mitchell is pretty damn good when you put 2 on the ball and make him give it up to somebody else. And Conley's been shooting the ball well from 3, so
does Denver bounce back
Yes.
oh, yeah.
with a win?
Yes. I still have Denver in 5.
Denver in 5. Wow, a little adjustment making.
Yeah.
come back. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I
What
think
happened? What's going to change?
I think Jokic and Jamal play better. I just do. And I don't think the defense for Denver is going to be much better, but I do think the Jazz don't hit quite so many shots. I think they got to pick a game plan with Mitchell and stick to it and do it well. But I like Denver in Game 3.
Eric,
They definitely bounce back. I don't know if it's this next game or the game afterwards. I just know that this feels very weird and hopeless, and like the series is
starts
lost.
getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, but it's like honestly, the Jazz got up and the Nuggets just like gave up. You know what I mean? Like they didn't like if this was a game that they had to have. I don't think they would have thrown in the towel so quickly. I'm not saying I'm not making an excuse
I like
for
this.
them.
I like Asael here. Ahmad. Other point. Denver overcomes adversity quite well.
That's right. Maybe other players will leave the bubble, leaving us with only 7.
Yeah, I see these people telling me that it's going 7. You're probably right, but let me have this.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with it.
look, I thought this was going to be a competitive series just because of Utah's
man.
strengths and Denver's weaknesses, and I could see this going like every other like a lot of playoff
Yo, this
series
could,
do.
this honestly could end up being a legendary series.
Do you start Grant for the other thing is Grant wasn't very good in this game.
He wasn't.
So it's looking like a matchup for neither of them at the moment.
Yeah, it's
But
1-1. I don't think you make
you don't
any
think you
drastic
change anything?
changes yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either. So Harrison, you think do they bounce back in game 3?
Yes, I've got the Nuggets winning game 3.
Man, this one I let me ask it another way. How important is game 3?
It's
You seem to think not too important because you think they might lose it.
Well,
and then
I think
bounce
it's
back and
huge.
forth.
I think it's huge.
It's. I mean,
I think who wins game 3 wins the series.
I don't know if I'm ready to go that far, but I mean, I would like them to win. I just can't say outright that they're going to, but but you could be right, Harrison. You absolutely could be right. Like,
Yeah.
we'll just see. I mean, just every game I feel like is going to take on its own personality. You know,
The Avs are up 6-0 right now.
I know it's pretty incredible. We've been talking about it. All right. Well, I guess with me, I don't know if I'm ready to give a prediction yet. I always get a lot more out of the second watch than I do the first. So I really want to see. I want to get into the details of this and really try to figure out what's going on. But that was it, guys. Today's show, it sucks. A loser's lounge sucks, but a blowout lounge really sucks even more.
Hey, the Lakers lost. The Bucks lost.
That felt so good.
The Raptors lost game 1 last year of the postseason. They didn't look this bad,
dude,
but
the Avs lost a game in this series.
there you go.
Oh, I keep thinking about that. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because they've just kicked the crap out of the Coyotes the last 2 games, this one
Yeah.
included. And yeah, after game 2, it was like, man, this team could be so good, but sometimes they could be so bad
The Avs just wanted to clinch on their home ice.
in front of their home
On their,
fans.
their home bubble.
Yeah, their home bubble. All right, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button,
Yo.
maybe throw a comment.
We love the people that are here riding with us.
Oh, these are the real homies. Are you kidding?
We love you people. Ray
see you.
Vaughn,
I know.
all
All
of
of
the.
It's the OGs. It's the people that were around for quarantine.
Yo, you're our people, man.
You are our people, man. We appreciate you so much. If you also didn't know, this becomes a podcast. So if you want to check out the podcast, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, whatever it is that you download your podcast. You miss an episode, don't worry. Throw it on your phone. You can listen to it as you go. All those great things. And then, of course, you can become a member. Come to the bar, drink a tall beer. Check out all of our premium content, including the list. All of those things. Thanks so much. Oh,
Check out Adam and Coach George Carl in an excellent podcast called Keeping It 1000.
Saturday, next episode Saturday. Analyzing Game 3. I'm so glad we did. I was going to
Keep
do it
up,
Thursday.
yeah.
I'm so glad we're doing it after
But
Game 3.
catch up.
No, it's going to be so much more
for
meaningful.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
it's really. I mean, it's you start to realize like how much Adam knows about basketball when he's paired with somebody that
That's-
also knows about
That's
basketball.
what you took away from that.
Yeah, I did. I was like, wow, I was like, wow, I need to get away from Adam. I'm really, I'm not doing him any favors.
Never give me a compliment live on air. Thanks so much for riding with us, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Nugs bounce.